Hello and welcome to Petal to Metal Gardening, where today we're starting off with a car full of flowers. I just got back from the garden center. We're going to be planting a flower garden right behind our fire pit area that we built last video. If you missed that one, be sure to check it out. But today we're focusing on glamorizing that corner, really putting a bunch of perennials in the back. We do have some annuals to also sprinkle in here and there, but we're really focusing on filling in with perennials right now so that they'll be back next year for the wedding, because of course that is our pure focus this year, is making sure that we have a fully stocked garden for the backyard garden wedding. So let's not waste any time and get started today and start unloading the car first. As you can see, we have a ton of stuff to work with here. Starting off, we do have some bee balm. These are going to be some beautiful pink and purple blooms. We do have a ton of buds on these right now, but the blooms are not out currently. Next up, I do have 3 different varieties of hostas, honeysuckle vines, phlox, star jasmine. I should also note that everything here is going to be planted behind the fire pit area except for the sedum that we got. This is actually for around the small pond, so this isn't going to be planted today in this video, but it will be in another one. And now that we have the bulk of our flowers and our wheelbarrow here, we're going to take a journey all the way down to the fire pit, which of course is through the fence and all the way at the back end of the yard here. You can see it's a pretty long trip and it's just a long way to go if you forgot something, if you know what I mean. But let's take a look at the area that we're going to be working on today, and that is right behind the fire pit patio build that we did last video. We're basically going to be going from the back left corner to the front right corner here and creating a wraparound garden on the back side, which I am really excited to bring more color into the space and kind of also cover up the woods back here. But of course, when starting a new garden bed, there's multiple things that we're going to have to do before we could start putting any flowers in the soil here. And the first thing that I'm going to start with is taking stone from the large pond over here. There's just a ton of piles left over still. And if you heard me talk about it in any of my previous videos, I am really just trying to clear out this entire space so that we could redo this big pond and take all that stone and repurpose it in other sections of the yard instead of wasting it or giving it away. So I'm mainly going to be taking very large brick shaped stone and making the entire border around the back end of this garden bed so that it has an edge. Once we put soil and mulch in here, we don't want it washing out into the woods because it is sloped down that way. So I am going to level off that ground and then add in that edging so that it is a more level garden and we could reduce runoff. An obstacle that I ran into quite a few times was a lot of large roots. There's a tree relatively close, maybe a couple feet away from me. You can't see it in this view, but trust me, it is there, and it is also covered in poison ivy, which is just another story. But I do wish that I had something like a cultivator for jobs like this, but I don't currently have one, so I'm stuck pulling all of this out by hand. There's a ton of roots that also came from the woods. There's a lot of vines right on the other side of the fence that definitely was adding to the problem. But after pulling all that out, we can now go in with our hand tamper and start creating a solid foundation for our stone, which of course is going to be necessary anytime that we are laying down stone. So I did think that I was done with my hand tamper for a while after the fire pit build, but I was wrong because it is going to come in handy with the edging for this garden bed. Now, this being our first edge that we are laying down, this did take a lot of repositioning to get the curve correct because of course we are not cutting any of this stone, we are just using it as is. So to get the curve right, I had to shift things around quite a bit so we could get that nice curve and it would lay flat up against the fire pit but also lean up against the fence as well without having any big cracks in between any of them, because of course that would increase our chances of runoff with water coming through there, so we wanted to avoid that as much as possible. And after completing the edging in that section, it's time to move further down the line, but of course we are going to run into a couple obstacles down here. This is actually where there is a bunch of poison ivy all over the fence. I did spray it with poison ivy killer at least 4 times before today, so hopefully it is dead enough so that I could carefully remove that and take care of that poison ivy. I do have my gloves on. Unfortunately, I do have a short sleeve shirt on. I should be wearing a long sleeve one, but I was too lazy to go inside and change, and luckily, I can tell you now I'm editing this about a month later and I did not get any poison ivy luckily, so I'm good there, but it definitely was a hassle, and it's always a hassle to get vines off of this chain link fence. Is definitely one of the bigger annoyances of the backyard. But the funny part is that I'm actually going to be adding more vines to the chain link fence, but it's actually going to be ones that I like and enjoy, like the honeysuckle vines and the star jasmine. And now that we have all of our stone edging laid down, we are one step closer to getting those vines and other flowers planted, but we do have to do one more thing before we could plant in here, and that is going to be removing some of the soil that is within the bed, because I am going to be mulching this and we don't want it to overflow over the stones or over the patio. I want it to lay flush with everything, so I am going to be removing some of that soil. That way we could avoid washout and overfilling this bed. The next thing that I'm going to do is grab my metal rake and even out the land as best as possible. Of course, we are going to be digging this up to create our holes for our plants, but I am trying to get the ground a little bit more level. That way it'll make it easier for us later on. Once all of that soil was leveled out within the bed, it's now time to grab our vines and flowers and start figuring out the placement that we want for these. Again, I do want the vines to be trained to grow up on the chain link fence at some point, so I am going to spread that out probably for 1 vine per panel here, and then I'm going to be sprinkling in some hostas, bee balm for our perennials, because of course we are trying to buy as many perennials as we can this year so that we have a good head start for next year's garden wedding. But we do also have a tray of impatiens that will be our annual pop of color as well, but I am not going to set those out currently because I do want to go in and plant the larger stuff, because every single time I will try and put smaller flowers around bigger things that still need to be planted, they either end up getting stepped on or something ends up happening to them, so they're a lot easier to just wait until the end and sprinkle them in any empty spaces. Now we are about halfway through the larger plants here, digging a hole for each, teasing the roots, and making sure that we are planting it to the right depth, making sure that we are covering all those roots with the soil, and just repeating that a handful of times until we have all of these larger perennials in the ground. But now we could go over and grab our flat of impatiens. This is going to fill in all of those gaps and also give a pop of color that this is desperately needing. This bed leans more towards shade, but it still gets a decent amount of sun throughout the day. We're doing a lot of experimenting this year, planting different flowers in different spots to see what works best around the property. So if you notice some full sun plants mixed in with some shade lovers, this is why. This season is all about testing, learning, and see what thrives where. That way, for next year, we'll have a game plan for the wedding as well as all the years to come. Now that we have planted everything within this garden bed, I am definitely satisfied with how full it is. Of course, when you first plant everything, this is as small as these plants and flowers are going to be. They're all going to get a lot bigger than this, so we want to make sure that they have that breathing room and the necessary space to be able to grow and be healthy. So overall, I'm satisfied with how much we packed into such a small, narrow space, even though it does wrap around the entire 2 sides of the fire pit here. And I did make a really big mess on the stone, but that's not a big deal. I'm just going to grab my leaf blower and blow off any debris back into the garden bed here. And then we're gonna go in with our preen. That way we could get ahead of any more weeds to come. We did spend a lot of time ripping out roots and weeds, so we don't want to fall behind on that. After all of that work, this preen is going to help us with the weeds up to 3 months. plants, which is always a huge help and time saver when it comes to gardening. And last but not least, we can't forget our mulch. This is going to help keep all of the moisture in. This is a relatively dry section of the yard, so this is 100% something that I cannot skip in this particular section of the property. I do have relatively sandy soil in the backyard, so mulching has definitely helped my plants not wilt during the day and has kept a lot more moisture in. That way they have less of an opportunity to fully dry out before I get to them with the hose. But after everything was fully mulched, it was time to clean up the stone once again, water everything in for the night, and call this garden bed complete. I'm really satisfied with how this turned out. I think it really brings together the entire section of the yard, really putting a nice finishing touch on the patio fire pit build and bringing in more color to this back corner. I'm really excited to see how this stuff looks later in the season and as these things grow and get bigger, and even for next year when they come back. Of course, the impatiens are the only flowers that are not going to be coming back, but everything else here will come back for next year. We did build this as a base for perennials so that we will have that solid foundation for next year. But overall, this project looks awesome, and this is definitely a spot that I'm going to be hanging out in a lot this season, especially with friends and family, having bonfires, and really just enjoying the space after all of this hard work. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more projects like this one.